Hey guys, it's Jeff from Pressure Luck, and Happy New Year to all of us. We're into 2021, we pushed 2020 out the window, it's snowing outside a little bit. I'm feeling great today. And starting off the new year, of course, I feel so honored and privileged to be partnering once again with one of my favorite brands in the world, Better Than Bouillon. And Better Than Bouillon has come out, in case you haven't heard, with a brand new flavor, and it is absolutely brilliant. Sautéed Onion. Now, when they told me about this, I was like, oh my gosh, that is genius. That is brilliant. Sautéed onion bouillon? I've never heard of it before. And of course, if there's gonna be any brand to do it, it's gonna be Better Than Bouillon, right? And you know it's gonna be amazing. So I said, well, what am I gonna make with that? I'm like, of course I can make my French onion soup and use, onion broth instead of beef broth. That'll be great. But I really wanted to, think outside the box a little bit and see what I could do with this and do something really special. And then I said to myself, 2021, ringing in the new year, ringing onion rings. Guys, we're making the most amazing beer battered onion rings you ever had. One bite of that crispy brilliance, and that's gonna be it for you. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, especially on a beautiful snowy day or in the summer, any time of year, onion rings with Better Than Bouillon is about to happen. So grab some onions and some oil because we're about to cry and fry at the same time. Cry tears of joy, of course, after we chop the onions. They're gonna be amazing. Wait until you see. Let's do it. Alright, so since we're making onion rings, our stars of the show are gonna be two potatoes. I mean onions. Onions, of course. Now we want to make sure, guys, this is kind of important for onion rings, at least mine. You want sweet onions or Vidalia onions. Same thing. I used to pronounce them Vidalia, but then Richard was like, no, Jeff, they're Vidalia. And he's from the South, so he knows what he's talking about with that. So Vidalia or sweet onions, the same thing. Take two large ones, but you know what? I'm not going to snap my fingers to do it this time. I'm actually going to do it the normal, mortal way so you can understand how I want you to cut these up. Alright, so I'm going to take a nice sharp knife here, and I'm going to go to the one edge of my onion, slice off the top, give it a haircut there, and then go to the bottom and kind of do the same. So I'm just kind of left with my onions looking like this. Now I want to peel off that outer layer of skin. And there we go, looking good. Now, some people like to take the very outermost layer of the onion and slice it off. And I'm just going to do that because I kind of always do. I feel like it's just, cleaner a little bit to go a little deeper in the onion. And then just to get that off, and there we go. That's exactly how I want my onion. Moving on from there, I want to take it and I want to slice it into rings about a quarter of an inch to a half of an inch thick. So I'm like this. This one I'll probably get about 3 sections. That's it. Now I'm just going to take my fingers and carefully just make them rings, just like this. See that? Just pop them out. They're like little Russian nesting dolls. And you're gonna have big rings, you're gonna have little rings. It's adorable. An onion ring of all sizes. Alright, great. And then just do that with the rest of your onions. And there we go, guys. Rings of all shapes and sizes. And now I wanna put these in a bowl and soak them. Alright, so I've just put all of my sliced onion rings into a bowl, and now I'm going to add in a quart of buttermilk in there. This is a very important step. It's going to flavor and soften your onions. And I'm just going to press down my onions a little bit in here and make sure they soak nicely inside of my buttermilk. And they don't have to even be fully submerged. This is just fine. I'm going to put my lid on there, and I'm going to pop it in the fridge for a minimum of an hour. You can do it up to 8 hours if you wish. That's fine. But at least an hour, okay? And then from there, we're going to make our batter, and then we're going to fry, and that's it. See you soon. Alright, so now just before I'm ready to take my onions that are soaked in the buttermilk out of the fridge, I want to create my 2 separate bowls here for dipping and battering. The first I'm going to call the dusting bowl. I'm going to add in 1 cup of all-purpose flour, as well as 2 teaspoons each of seasoned salt and black pepper, and 1 teaspoon each of garlic powder and onion powder. And I'm going to whisk that up in there. Alright, let's move on to our next bowl. And I'm going to call this one the beer battered bowl. To this I'm going to add in another cup of all-purpose flour, 12 ounces of an amber ale or a lager. It's got to be beer if you're going to make it beer battered. And now our secret ingredient to making the most amazing beer battered onion rings is going to be some sauteed onion Better Than Bouillon. Guys, this is their newest flavor. It is to die for delicious. I absolutely love it. And what better than making onion rings with sauteed onion, huh? I want to add in 4 teaspoons of this glorious magic. See that? Just put it in there and then just scoop it out And right inside it goes. And now we're gonna whisk everything up until it becomes a nice, smooth, beer battery consistency. It should be just like this, not terribly thick, just like this is how we want it. All right, so we have our dusting bowl, our beer battered bowl, and now we're ready to take those onions out, dip them, and fry them up. Okay, so now we're ready to fry, and I can do this in one of a few ways. I prefer doing it in a nice sized deep fryer here. This is a home deep fryer, super affordable, and I've added in canola oil. You can use vegetable oil as well. Filled it up to the max line inside, which is about halfway, and I'm going for 375. It tells me when it's ready to go. It takes about 20 minutes to heat up. You can also do this in a Dutch oven on your stove. Just make sure you use a nice large one and you don't fill it up to any more than halfway high because we don't want that oil splattering. Regardless, make sure the oil's at about 375. Now that we're ready to fry, I have my 3 bowls. I have my onions that are soaked in buttermilk that I just took out of the fridge, my dusting bowl, and my beer battered bowl. The reason why I have it on the left and the right is for hand purposes to keep things as clean as possible here. My oil is already nice and heated, so I want to take one of the onions out of the buttermilk, just, dig in from below. That's perfect right there. With my left hand, I'm going to drop it in the dusting, just like so it's nice and coated right from the buttermilk. And then I'm going to hand it off and then dip it in the batter, just like this. And then I'm going to drop it in my fryer. And then I'm just going to repeat the process until my fryer is filled with onion rings. And I want to fry my onions for about 3 minutes or so on one side, and then I want to flip them over with my tongs here. Oh, and look at this. Look at how beautiful they're already getting. Nice and golden brown. That's exactly what we want. They puff up beautifully. And then after about another minute or two, guys, we're looking at no more than about 3 to 5 minutes total of frying a batch of onion rings here. Look at that beauty. Drop it on a paper towel lined plate and then just take them out. They could be as crispy as you'd like. Just know that as you rest them on the plate, they're still gonna continue to crisp up a little bit more as they cool. So these are looking absolutely beautiful. I love a nice, puffy, crunchy beer battered onion ring. Nothing like it. And that Better Than Bouillon in there, it's gonna send it over the top. And I mean, come on, look at that. Batch 1 done, now let's finish these puppies off. And also, after we dip our onion in the beer batter mix, make sure we shake it off a little bit. We don't want it to get ridiculously coated. Just like this is perfect, drop it in. Continue, do it quickly, it's a quick process. All right, now let's check on these and look at that. Absolutely beautiful. All right, we're gonna set that to our plate to rest, and then you just continue the process until you get all your onions cooked. And that, my friends, are onion rings right there. All right, now if you wanna make a dipping sauce that's out of this world delicious, do the following. Take about 1/3 cup each of mayonnaise and ketchup, 1 tablespoon of a sweet relish, and about 1/2 tablespoon to a whole tablespoon of a horseradish. You can make it spicy or mild, and then mix that all together. And is there anything better than a giant plate of onion rings being put down right in front of you? I should say golden, puffy, crunchy onion rings. Actually, the only thing better is to add some of that amazing sauce. And there we have it, guys. Let's eat. All right, guys, and here they are, the onion rings. I am so excited to try them out. Yeah, I'm gonna take this one, and I'm gonna dip it in my sauce right back here and try it out. Here we go. I'm speechless. Okay, that's a lie. I'm never speechless. Guys, this is to die for delicious. First of all, did you hear that crunch? Let me do it again in case you didn't. I mean, the batter is perfect. It is perfect. You can taste that fantastic hint of onion in there. It's not overpowering, it's not too salty, it is just right. And I love me a nice smooth coated fried up onion ring. Not the type that have like the breadcrumbs all over it, the rough ones that like rip the top of your mouth open. Forget that. This is smooth. It's like, smooth and so good. Oh my gosh. And that sauce is to die for. Your onions are cooked to perfection. That's why soaking them in buttermilk before you fry is super important. It softens them up, it gives you extra flavor, and it makes you fry them really quickly and they cook very fast. They're perfect. Everything is better because of the Better Than Bouillon. Literally, it makes everything better. Look at how beautiful this is. I mean, are you seeing this? Look at this texture. Look at this golden, beautiful onion ring. Just look at it. Gorgeous. Simply gorgeous. Here, I'll bite it and show you the inside. See that? See the onion, how it's nice and charred on the edges? It's gonna be the perfect consistency when you fry these up. You can fry them for as long as you'd like. I mean, don't go too long, obviously. The indicator when they're done is when the onion ring turns a nice golden brown. You can make them even more well done and darker than this if you want. But you're not gonna go wrong. It's all about the dusting and the batter, and this is exactly what it takes. The sauteed onion Better Than Bouillon sets it over the top. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much to Better Than Bouillon for coming out with such an amazing flavor. You can also use it in great things like my French onion soup. Gotta try that too, of course. Check out PressureLuckCooking.com for all these great recipes. A lot of them are focused on the Instant Pot. Speaking of which, I wrote a cookbook, the step-by-step Instant Pot cookbook. I use Better Than Bouillon as my bouillon and broth and bases, and pretty much every recipe that calls for it in this book. I love the product so much. Check out Facebook.com/PressureLuckCooking. Like the page and favorite the page so you see every single recipe that I drop on there, posts about things that in general that you're not gonna wanna miss. Life, tips, humor, great deals, don't miss out on that. And of course, at Pressure Luck Cooking, YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram, and Twitter. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And remember, when you make this beer batter onion ring, it's gonna be fit for a queen or a king. Enjoy. So good, perfect.